Hello, this is Crypto CJ. Welcome to today's Trade of the Day. It's the Friday afternoon edition where we focus on Altcoin Alert. First thing we do though is we look at the markets and check out what Bitcoin's up to. So I will share my screen. And there's Doge. All right, you guys seeing my Bitcoin one-day chart okay? John, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so usually we look at some of my trend lines, but today we're going to focus on the death cross. So this is what some traders have talked about. They talked about it yesterday on CryptNation on the Lifer call. This is the 50-day moving average crossing the 200-day moving average. This is supposed to be super bearish. One could argue it's already priced in with this drop here last few days and more dropping today. Bitcoin's dropped, I think, around 4 or 5% today. Whoa. Well, actually 14% in the last 3 days. So I'm anticipating some more dropping today and over the weekend, and maybe a bounce off this 30 to 32 level. And as I've talked about on prior episodes, that's where I want to get back into my swing trades and maybe do some day trading at that time as well. So anyway, has anybody heard or have any comments about this death cross? Has such a dramatic name for something that doesn't look that dramatic.
I got nothing.
Got nothing? All right. No problem. Let's look at Altcoin Alert, see if we can use that to make some money today. I did something a little different with Altcoin Alert. I talked about it before, but I saw the overall market trending down like I just showed you on the Bitcoin chart. So I was looking for some coins to short. I didn't think this list was going to help me. So I sorted by the AA score, but instead of positive, I went negative. And it's not here now, but this morning, Waves was one of the coins that showed up as bearish. So that's one of the 2 coins I traded this morning with my most of my day trades using the market Cipher program. I'll probably do a training on that at some point if it shows consistent results, but right now I'm using that for in and out leverage trading, and it's worked out pretty well this morning. So that's pretty cool. It's just another one of the ways you can use Altcoin Alert. I had some success with this approach last summer, looking for very bearish and bearish scores, and then using those to trade the bear and the down coins on FTX and Binance. So that's another strategy you guys can employ when the market's trending down like it is.
How low was the AA score this morning on Waves?
This is in the, I wrote it down. Let's see. Oh shoot, I don't have the screen up. This is in the 20s or 30s.
Okay.
I think neutral starts at 40. Yeah, so here's neutral.
Mm-hmm.
He was in this range here.
Okay.
So otherwise, let's take a look at some of these coins. I'm going to refresh. Looks like it stays the same. RLC, I traded last week with some success. I like that one. ENJ, I've traded before. In RUNE, I looked at this morning and got interrupted, or I probably would have traded that one too. So let's check out RLC. I have RUNE up already, so let's go ahead and look at that. So let me take this out. Now, use a different chart. That's the market Cipher chart, and there's a bunch of stuff in there that I'd have to explain. So
Speaking of charts, Patrick, did you was that helpful seeing how he sets up his charts video that he put out? I think you would ask of that.
I just wanted to get rid of the volume stuff. So over on the far left, each one of those lines you can close individually.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that was one of the things he wanted. So it may have been overkill for me to make the video, but
You know what? You help somebody.
some people, I got some nice responses from it on the Slack group. So
I
if
feel
that
like
helps
you
you
can
out.
always learn something. I mean, I'm sure there's, you know, I've been doing it for a little while. I've got my things set up, and I'm sure that, you know, I could learn a lot of little tips and tricks. So it was kind of cool to see you do that. So thanks for
All right.
posting
Well, I'm
that.
glad it was helpful. And, it's hard to watch something with training and crypto involved and not learn something. So anyway, all right. So we're on the RLC chart. And again, a lot of them look this way. They had big pumps in April or May, and they've lost, this one's lost almost 3/4 of its value since then. And it hasn't really recovered much. So RLC should be due for a recovery. Let's check out the hour chart. It's trending down like most of the others are, but starting to pick back up here on the 5-minute. Squeeze, bubble, 1, 2, sort of a 3. We missed that. We had a 1, 2, 3 dip around noon. Would have been a nice 3%. We're above the SMA line, trending down. If I saw some candle action going back up here, I might be interested. 1.6% to the top of the Bollinger Band, not bad. If you want to go to some of this resistance, 2.47, 3.49, and stair step back up. But I think the overall trend is negative for the next day or two. So, buying up here would be I wouldn't be comfortable doing that at this moment. But this one could be one that comes back in the near future. Might want to set an alert down in this range here around the RSI. It had a nice move after it touched the RSI at below 30, the oversold. Went beyond the SMA line over 4%. So that's a pretty good move.
The RSI seems to be the major indicator, not the dips.
I would reverse that because candles are current, and RSI is a blend of relative strength. It's momentum, volume, and price sort of blended together. So plus it's lagging, so I'm more interested in the current. But we use RSI and the MACD to confirm our decisions whether to get in or out of a trade. And yeah, so usually if you just know these 3 indicators really well, you should do pretty well in day trading using the dips and squeezes if the market supports it. So all right, any questions on RLC before we move on? Actually, let's break away and look at this Theta chart. And since I put in the morning, I'm choosing a couple coins, some from Altcoin Alert, some from, most of you guys know about iCoin Pro. That's another source I use for information. And then sometimes I have something left over from the day before. Like I'd put this trend line in. Well, it's showing up as 18th. So I think I had a different one and then I altered this one. Then I you can put an alert on trend lines, which is kind of cool. Crossing up or crossing down, or different ways to do it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I've been tinkering with TradingView and trying to use alerts more because I'm already in front of the computer quite a bit, but I like to break away and for a couple hours here and there, and so if I want to come back and trade something that's urgent, this is one of the ways to do it. I've showed you guys how to use do the RSI alerts. Those are in several of my videos. So that's another good one to do. And then creating trend lines and putting alerts on those is good too. So
That pays for today's call. Thank you.
yeah. And then it punched through on the I do it on the hour charts, and that shows me good momentum going up. And so I might want to consider, so now I go over to the 5-minute chart, and we're a little late for this. It's above the SMA line, but Theta often, we talked about Theta and T-Fuel before. It sometimes frequently resists Bitcoin dumps, and then if it is affected, it rebounds pretty quickly. So I was trading this, probably this cycle here. It's pretty cool. I had a couple good trades in there. So Theta I like a lot. All right, so let's go back to Altcoin Alert, and let's look at, we looked at RLC, let's look at RUNE. I'll do it on the, looks pretty similar to what we just saw. It's recovered more of its May high levels, and then drop down here. On the hour, we've got trending down. See, this is one where you could do the trend line like I just showed you. Say right about here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just, there's no science to it. Not sure exactly where I would want to put this, but let's put it there. Right click
Give it
on
a little room to breathe.
Yeah. And add alert on trend line. RUNE crossing. I want it crossing up. Trend line. If I allow only once, it'll go off as soon as it crosses. I don't want that. I want it to close above that line. So I'm going to click once per bar close. And the message here is descriptive enough for me, so I'm not going to add to it. I'll create that. And it should show, I'm not sure why, it should show a little alarm over here, but it's not. I'm not sure why. Huh. All right, well, it's not cooperating, but anyway, that's how you do it. And then on the 5-minute chart, since it's this high, I'd probably want to see it punch through the trend line before I tried to do a trend to trade. But it's obviously too high now for a dip trade. And the way, what we just saw with Bitcoin being as negative as it has been the last few days, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable doing a long up here. It could be, Pizza Mind yesterday was talking about, and this inspired me, how these ranges are just, the movement's pretty good. So I just started I made about 5 or 6 little trades of like 0.8 to 1% today, and had some success doing that, both long and short. That's one of the ways to trade this choppy market. All right, any questions on RUNE or RLC?
This trend line thing. If your alarm goes off and it's gone up through the trend line, then it goes up, and then do you wait until it comes back and touches the trend line and then takes off again before you buy something?
I would do that in a swing trade.
Mm-hmm.
In a day trade, I would go to the 5-minute chart and see what I can do with it. Yeah, so let's say the alert goes off, I go, and let's say it's up here because it just punched through and maybe closed up there. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's probably too high to do something with right at the moment, but if it drops a little bit, or eventually shows me one of the You might do another alert at a certain price area and then get in at that point. So what I'm trying to emphasize is that you don't just jump in on the trade just because it goes through a trend line.
Right.
Especially on
Right.
the
That's what I was trying to
right on
figure out
the
what the
swing trade
follow-up is
side, you
once
would
you get
wait
that
for that.
alert.
You'd wait for that retrace like you mentioned, and then on the day trading side, you might just wait for a good entry on the 5-minute chart. Good question
Yeah,
though.
thanks.
Alrighty then. I'll look at ENJ too. Okay. Almost to $4, lost well over half of that. Hasn't really recovered much. On the hour, dipping pretty hard and recovering slightly, kind of like the other coins we saw. 5-minute. Evidence of the recovery. It's gone pretty strongly through the SMA line, starting to bubble again. So, we're probably too late for this. If you're a real cowboy, you might want to get in here and see if it goes up for a while. Maybe to these ranges here. But that's not enough return for me to buy that high on the 5-minute chart. So, this is another one where I'd set an alert down here, or maybe set an alert in the RSI. So, all right, so that covers the higher AA scores. Any questions about the AA scores? We'll do some other sorts. Okay. And this is another place to look for coins to short, the day's losers. And this can be a good place too to look for, well, they could be either short or long. If you think that the movement's exhausted by your chart analysis, and this can be a good place to find longs, and this can be a good place to find shorts. But with these, these aren't 40 and 50%. These are single digits, so these coins might have more room to move. Just really depends on what Bitcoin does, and how traders handle this death cross. If they, if that event's already priced into the current market, and it wouldn't surprise me if it took off this weekend. I think the odds are maybe 60-40 that it goes down a little bit more and tests the lower 30s. We'll have to see, but I'm going to trade both sides. Let's look at the Elder Impulse Daily. And we just looked at Theta. That seems to keep showing up in this. It's bullish on the daily.
Too. Keeps up there the losers, then keeps number 4 on this sort.
Yeah.
So that would indicate, since it says bullish on the daily, that they think it's went down yesterday and is going to head back up.
Well, everything went down today at some point, this morning and early this afternoon, and a lot of them are recovering now. And like I mentioned, when Bitcoin drops, these coins tend to recover faster than the others. That might be why these two are at the top right now, the Elder Impulse sort. Quant is a coin I like a lot. I'm trying to catch this low, and it was up to 71 and then dropped down and then punched up again, but it's not on Binance. I buy it on CoinMetro. That's one of my swing trade specialties. Keep was listed on either Coinbase. I think it was Coinbase. So that one's been a big mover, but it looks like it lost a lot of its gains. But the Elder Impulse has it on bullish. Let's look at Keep. Oh, it was just listed on Binance. All right, so we don't have much of a history for this one. Huh. So I could have swore this was on Binance before, but
Aren't they
all right.
usually on Binance before they're on Coinbase?
Not necessarily, but that's more frequent because Binance is not, hamstrung by the USA rules, SEC rules, and it's bigger. And
I think this may be the first one I ever noticed was listed
because
Coinbase
this
first.
doesn't really have enough action. I tried to, I saw the Slack, the Slack alert about this listing, and I saw it was on Kraken. I went over to my Kraken account, had no money in it. It's like, well, that doesn't really help me. By the time I try to get something over here, it's going to be too late. So anyway, I need to start putting at least a few $100s in some of these smaller exchanges for when these alerts come out. But we
What do
only
you
have so much
transfer?
money to spread around, don't we?
What do you transfer to these different exchanges, dollars or USDT?
I probably would. I've got some Litecoin in my Exodus wallet. I might use that and then sell it, on Kraken for USD, or yeah, looks like that's the pair we have for keep anyway. But I've got some USDT in my wallet too that I could send. But yeah, most of the time, the last few times I've tried to add money to an exchange, I've done it with Litecoin, just because the fees are so low. But I did an exchange. I sent an Ethereum payment yesterday or the day before, and it was only like $1.20. So Ethereum seems to be quite a bit more reasonable now. Not sure how long that will last. All right, so keep. That's had a wild ride on Kraken. Okay, hit these highs in May, and it's recovered most of those. Probably has a lot to do with the listings on Binance and Coinbase. Did drop today, starting to recover a little bit. It seems to be like the other coins we've looked at. So yeah, not enough juice in this squeeze for me to buy it this high. So again, set your alerts if you want to trade keep. All right. Cream is bullish on the elder impulse, and everything else is negative or neutral. Probably not worth looking at. All right, so that's the elder impulse search. Let's try the trading activity or sort. Let's try that sort. Just looked at keep, MFT, bearish in the AA, not liking that. I usually want neutral or better if I'm doing a trading activity sort. Tomo, bullish impulse, neutral AA score, fire trading activity. You're also looking for 5% or better on the 1 hour projection, but not necessarily a deal breaker. Let's take a quick look at Tomo. I haven't looked at this coin in quite a while. All right. Yeah, I haven't charted this since August of last year, 10 months ago. Yeah, over 370 here, lost about half that value, starting to come up. Down today, coming back up on the hour. That's pretty good, pretty strong move there. Yeah, top of the Bollinger Band again, but I was just not sure how strongly these coins are going to come back from today's dipping. So, buying up here concerns me. Don't like it. again, I just think it's too risky to buy up here. So you set your alerts if you want to trade this one, and hopefully it'll we'll get a setup that we like better in the near future. All right. Any other sorts you guys want to do? Okay. Well, any questions?
But hit the 1 hour projection range and see if you've got any that have the 5% there.
All right. So this Lena coin,
Yeah,
everything's
shit.
awful except that. Just about.
Yeah.
That's not scored in this 1 hour, so I'm less concerned about these scores. Let's look at it just for fun.
Okay.
I'm not even sure where. One, oh, there it is on Binance. I didn't know. Looks like a lower volume coin. And started in March. Should have some decent price action in the last few months. Had a high here a couple days ago. Dropped quite a bit, coming back a little bit. All right, so it's come up about 4% today. I don't see anything special here, so. And don't like these smaller candles that are just sideways. All right, what else we got? 44%. Lots of poop here. Just
Definitely.
stinking up my screen. So
Definitely. I've never really used that. I mean, since you say that 5%, sometimes I click on it just to see what's there. And it seems like this often happens, that it's like coins I've never heard of anywhere else that have a lot of poop that are just, I guess it doesn't take much to move them. So the range
yeah,
might be pretty big. But that's like down on the list. I mean, after you look at all that other stuff you looked at before, sometimes I click on that one.
where's Pundy? Yeah, this is getting pretty repetitive. So this looks like all the others too. So, all right, well, that's about all I have for, the usual sorts and reviews I do on Altcoin Alert. Do you guys have any other coins you want to talk about, or any other issues regarding crypto? All right.
CJ.
Yes.
This is Edward.
Hi, Edward.
Hi. So you probably talked about this before, and everybody else has probably already talked about it, but I'm kind of new. So
okay.
So I've been seeing instances, and actually somebody was actually talking about it on Slack, where you got this like high number in the 1 hour, and the rest of it all looks like crap. I mean, literally, and it's all bearish, or we've got high AA scores, but everything is indicated that it's junk. Is there something that's faulty working with the AA scoring system, or is it just things getting mixed up because Bitcoin is messing everybody's movement around?
Well, there's some truth to the Bitcoin thing you just said. And then regarding the AA score, you have to separate it from these other columns for the most part. The AA score is really about potential. It's trying to find out what's going to end up here, or at least moving. I mean, it's probably not going to be in the top 5 days winners, but they're looking for something that's going to move 3% or more in the next 48 hours. As day traders, that's you know, in day trading, we like that. You know, if we can get 3% in 24 to 48 hours, that's a good day trade. Now that doesn't sound like much when people say, you know, I've held this coin for a year and I made, you know, 800%. Well, we're not trading like that. You know, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but to answer your question, yeah, the high AA score is what has potential, which is why you'll see some of these more recent values on high AA scores, you know, like RLC that we looked at first. It's saying currently it looks like this, you know, everything's bearish or neutral, but it has great potential based on the way this token has acted in the past in these circumstances. So
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, that's how we make the distinction from the AA score. That's why I don't do an RLC AA score and a trading activity sort and a 1 hour sort and a, you know, impulse hourly sort and a daily sort, because it would be confusing to put all these, because they're different indicators. So with an AA score, I'm looking for something that has potential in the next 24 to 48 hours. And then with some of these others, like trading activity, what's good now? What's hot now? So that's the difference.
And if that lines up with the Elder Impulse daily, then you're feeling pretty good about it.
Right. On a trading activity sort, obviously I want to see fire here, and on the AA score, there's sort of a potential there too. So I want to see this at neutral or better. That's just me. No one taught me that. That's just what I've sort of gathered over my time using this. And the Elder Impulse is new, so I'm still trying to work with that. But I like seeing daily bullish. I'm less concerned about hourly, but you know.
My understanding of the Elder Impulse is that it's telling you that in the past, this is how it's acted when it was in the same circumstance.
Yeah, it's sort of a mini AA score. So it's got, I can't really do this. I can't leave this open at the same time, but essentially it describes it there, how the 3 signals it looks at. Strategy based on moving average and MACD. So, and then you've seen, you know, if you're a lifer and been on those calls, you've seen, you know, Bryce's charts that have the Elder Impulse color coding incorporated into it. I don't use that. Just I tried it and it seemed weird to me, but
I use it because it calms me down, because it doesn't go completely red. You know, it goes
yeah.
blue with a red outline, and so I feel a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the red because sometimes I do some shorts, so I want to see the red when I'm on the short side. All right. Does that answer your question, Ed?
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions about Altcoin Alert or the crypto market? Okay, well, I think I will end the recording here and then hang around for anything you guys want to talk about. So for those of you watching the recording, thank you so much. Hopefully you'll join me again on Monday. Have a good weekend.